What if I told you there exists a simple inner command that can transform the most bitter family conflict into peace within 24 hours without forcing anyone to change, without winning the argument, and without years of therapy or mediation? What if the power to end family suffering lies not in convincing others they are wrong, but in shifting your own consciousness to a frequency where conflict cannot survive? This is not magic nor wishful thinking. It is spiritual science applied to the most painful area of human experience, the wounds we carry from those closest to us. As Paramahansa Yogananda, I have witnessed countless families torn apart by misunderstanding, resentment, and the stubborn pride of ego. Yet I have also seen miraculous healings occur when even one person applies spiritual consciousness to conflict. If you are ready to activate this transformation and become the instrument of peace in your family, if you are comment below, I unite with the divine and my reality transforms. This is not a request but a declaration, a command that shifts the vibrational field of your entire family system right now. The tragedy of family conflict is that it strikes at our deepest vulnerabilities. You can walk away from a difficult coworker or end a problematic friendship, but family bonds persist whether you wish them to or not. Many people carry decades of unhealed wounds from parents, siblings, children, or extended relatives, wounds that poison their peace, corrupt their capacity for joy, and block their spiritual progress. The conventional approaches to resolving family conflict focus on communication techniques, boundary setting, or therapeutic intervention, and while these have value, they address only the surface. People learn to express their feelings more clearly or to establish healthier limits. Yet the underlying resentment remains, the karmic patterns continue, and the same conflicts resurface in different forms. Why does this happen? Because traditional methods treat family conflict as merely a psychological or interpersonal problem, ignoring its deeper spiritual dimensions. They fail to recognize that family conflicts are karmic opportunities, that the souls involved have been drawn together precisely to heal old patterns, balance past debts, and learn the lessons that only intimate relationship can teach. R.5 From my earliest years in India, I understood that family relationships carry the weight of many lifetimes. The soul does not randomly select its parents, siblings, or children. These connections are formed by the magnetic attraction of karma, drawing together those who have unfinished business from previous incarnations. Sometimes you are placed with souls you loved deeply before, returning to continue that love and help each other grow. Other times you are reunited with those you hurt or who hurt you, given another chance to forgive, to make amends, to transform hatred into understanding. This is why family conflicts often feel so intense, so unreasonable, so out of proportion to their apparent cause. You may argue with your brother over something trivial and feel rage that seems to come from nowhere, but it is not from nowhere. It is the echo of unresolved patterns from lifetimes past rising to the surface so they can finally be healed. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop seeing your difficult family member as simply a problem to solve or an enemy to defeat, and you begin to see them as a soul companion who has agreed at the deepest level to help you grow. The mechanism by which spiritual consciousness resolves conflict operates through the law of vibrational transformation. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel emits a specific frequency into the subtle energy field that connects all beings, especially those bound by karmic ties. When you react to family conflict with anger, defensiveness, or blame, you feed the negative field, strengthening the pattern and ensuring it will repeat. But when you respond with spiritual consciousness, when you pause, breathe, touch your inner calm, and choose peace over reaction, you introduce a different frequency into the system. This new vibration disrupts the old pattern, creating space for healing to occur. Your family member may not immediately change their behavior, but something shifts in the field between you. The charge lessens. The automatic triggers weaken. What once provoked you instantly now finds you centered and calm. This is not suppression of genuine feelings. It is the transformation of reactive emotion into conscious response. You are not denying the pain or pretending the conflict does not exist. You are refusing to add fuel to the fire of suffering. I will share with you now a specific technique that has brought miraculous healing to countless families, a practice I myself taught and which carries special spiritual power. It is called the Peace and Harmony Prayer, and its simplicity belies its profound effectiveness. When you are experiencing conflict with any family member, parent, child, spouse, sibling, anyone, do this practice 5 times throughout your day. First, sit quietly, close your eyes, and visualize that person surrounded by divine light. See them not as their personality with all its faults, but as a soul temporarily lost in ignorance and suffering. Then, with feeling and sincerity, pray aloud or silently, Lord, fill name with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Repeat this for 1 full minute, holding their image in light while you pray. Then immediately visualize yourself in the same divine light and pray, Lord, fill me with peace and harmony for 15 seconds. This is the complete practice. It takes barely over 1 minute. Do this 5 times daily, especially when you feel anger rising or before you must interact with this person. Within days, often within 24 hours, you will notice shifts. The person may unexpectedly soften. A conversation may go more smoothly than expected. Or, more importantly, you will find yourself less reactive, more compassionate, able to see them with new eyes. The reason this prayer works with such power is that it addresses the spiritual root of conflict rather than its surface manifestations. When you pray for another to be filled with peace and harmony, you are not trying to control or change them. You are asking the divine to work in their consciousness in whatever way serves their highest good. You are stepping out of ego's need to be right or to force an outcome and stepping into the role of a channel for divine healing. At the same time, by praying for yourself to be filled with peace and harmony, you acknowledge that you too need transformation, that you too contribute to the conflict through your reactions and attachments. This humility is essential. Many people in family conflict believe they are entirely innocent, victims of another's wrongdoing. But spiritual consciousness requires radical honesty. Even if the other person's behavior is 90% wrong, you must focus on your 10%, on the ways you have fed the pattern through judgment, resentment, or stubborn pride. This is where your power lies, not in changing them, but in transforming yourself. To deepen your capacity for spiritual conflict resolution, establish a daily meditation practice that creates the inner foundation of peace from which all right action flows. Each morning, before engaging with family or the demands of your day, sit with spine erect in a quiet place. Close your eyes, focus gently at the point between the eyebrows, and practice the Hong Sao technique of concentration. Observe your natural breath without controlling it, and as you inhale, mentally repeat Hong. As you exhale, mentally repeat Sao, meaning I am He, affirming your identity with infinite consciousness. Do this for at least 15 minutes, allowing your mind to become still, your emotions to settle, your nervous system to calm. In this state of inner peace, bring to mind the family conflict that troubles you, but do not replay the grievances or rehearse your arguments. Instead, ask inwardly, Divine Mother, Father, show me my part in this pattern. Where am I clinging? Where am I judging? Where am I refusing to forgive? Then listen in the silence. Often you will receive subtle intuitive guidance, not as words, but as a feeling, a shift in perspective, a spontaneous recognition of your own role. Accept whatever comes without defense, and gently declare, I release my need to be right. I choose peace over conflict. I am becoming an instrument of healing in my family. Throughout your day, practice what I call non-reactive awareness when dealing with difficult family members. This does not mean becoming passive or allowing harmful behavior to continue unchecked. It means learning to respond consciously rather than react unconsciously. When your family member says or does something that normally triggers anger or hurt, pause before speaking. Take 3 slow, conscious breaths. Feel your feet on the ground. Touch the quiet center within you that meditation has begun to establish. From that center, ask, what response serves the highest good here? What would someone filled with peace and harmony say or do? Often you will find that the right response is simpler and kinder than your automatic reaction would have been. You might say, I hear that you're upset. Let's talk about this when we're both calmer. Or you might choose to say nothing at all, recognizing that some moments require silence rather than defense. This is not weakness, it is the highest spiritual strength. You are refusing to let another's unconsciousness pull you into unconsciousness. You are maintaining your connection to the divine even in the midst of provocation. Scepter is ace. Boundaries are essential in family relationships, and spiritual consciousness helps you establish them with love rather than anger. Many people confuse spirituality with unlimited tolerance, believing that to be spiritual means to accept all behavior without limit. This is false. Even the Divine Mother Father establishes boundaries. There are spiritual laws that govern existence, and consequences follow when those laws are violated. You can honor another's free will while refusing to participate in their dysfunction. If a family member's behavior is genuinely harmful, if there is abuse, addiction, or toxic manipulation, spiritual consciousness may guide you to create physical distance, to say no firmly, to protect yourself and any vulnerable family members. But even as you establish these necessary boundaries, you can maintain inner compassion. You can see the person as a suffering soul acting from ignorance rather than as an enemy to be hated. You can set the limit without hardening your heart. This is the balance. Firm in Dharma, soft in spirit. Use the sacred state of quietude, those 60 seconds before sleep, as a powerful tool for healing family conflict. As you lie in bed, when your conscious mind begins to relax and your subconscious becomes highly receptive, review your day regarding the family conflict. Without harsh judgment, simply observe, where did you maintain peace today? Where did you react unconsciously? Where did you miss an opportunity to be an instrument of healing? Then, with feeling and authority, declare, I release all resentment toward Nain. I forgive their mistakes and my own. I ask the divine to heal this relationship in whatever way serves our highest good. Tomorrow I will see them through eyes of compassion. Visualize both yourself and the difficult family member surrounded by soft golden light, held in divine embrace. Feel that the conflict is dissolving at its energetic roots, that something is shifting even though you cannot see it with physical eyes. These impressions planted in your subconscious during this receptive state gradually reprogram your automatic responses, replacing judgment with understanding, reaction with conscious choice, resentment with willingness to heal. Within 24 hours of beginning these practices with sincerity, you will notice unmistakable signs of transformation. Perhaps you wake up feeling lighter about the situation, as if a burden has been released during sleep. Maybe the family member contacts you unexpectedly with a softer tone than usual. You might find yourself in a situation that would normally provoke argument, yet you remain calm and the conflict de-escalates naturally. Or the shift may be entirely internal. You realize you no longer care about winning the argument, that something more important has taken priority in your consciousness. These are not coincidences, but the natural results of spiritual law. When you change your vibration, the field around you must respond. Do not expect instant perfection or complete resolution. Family karma accumulated over lifetimes cannot be erased in one day. But trust that every moment of spiritual consciousness, every prayer sincerely offered, every reaction consciously transformed plants seeds of healing that will bear fruit in divine timing. Some will ask, what if I practice all of this and my family member does not change? What if they continue their harmful behavior despite my prayers and inner work? I tell you, your spiritual practice is never wasted, even if outward circumstances change slowly or not at all. First, remember that you cannot control another soul's choices. Each being has free will and must walk their own path of learning. Your responsibility is your own consciousness, your own growth, your own liberation. If you maintain peace in the midst of their chaos, if you respond with wisdom rather than react with ego, if you forgive rather than harbor resentment, you have succeeded spiritually regardless of their behavior. Second, understand that sometimes the greatest healing comes through acceptance rather than through change. When you stop demanding that your family member be different and instead accept them as they are, a soul learning its lessons in its own way and time, a profound peace enters your heart. You are no longer at war with reality. You are no longer exhausting yourself trying to control what cannot be controlled. This acceptance does not mean approval of harmful behavior, nor does it prevent you from establishing healthy boundaries. It simply means you stop carrying the burden of trying to fix what only God can fix. To RDB, to RDB. There is also the question of when to engage and when to withdraw. Spiritual consciousness gives you discernment to know the difference. Some family conflicts require active engagement, sitting down together, speaking truth with love, working through misunderstandings with patience and honesty. Other conflicts are better served by stepping back, creating space, allowing time and silence to do their healing work. How do you know which is appropriate? Through meditation and intuitive guidance. When you have established inner stillness through regular practice, you develop access to superconscious wisdom that sees more clearly than the analytical mind. Before a difficult family interaction, sit in meditation and ask, what does the situation require? Engagement or withdrawal, speech or silence, action or patience? Then listen for the subtle response. You may feel a gentle inner prompting, a sense of rightness about one option or another. Trust this guidance and act upon it, even if ego resists or fears what might happen. I encourage you also to practice blessing your family members silently, especially those with whom you have conflict. Throughout your day, whenever their image comes to mind, instead of rehearsing grievances or imagining arguments, pause and inwardly send them light. Visualize them happy, peaceful, filled with divine love. Silently say, may you be free from suffering. May you know your true nature as a child of God. May you find the peace you seek. This practice accomplishes multiple things. It purifies your own heart of resentment. It sends positive energy into the subtle field connecting you, and it aligns you with the divine's will for their highest good. You are not trying to manipulate them or control their choices. You are simply holding them in love rather than in judgment. Over time, this practice softens the heart so thoroughly that even if reconciliation never happens outwardly, you achieve inner peace, which is the only peace you can truly control. Remember always that family relationships are temporary in the grand scope of eternity. These particular bonds will end when this life ends. The roles will dissolve. You will no longer be someone's child or parent or sibling in the same embodied way. What remains is the evolution of consciousness, the lessons learned or not learned, the love extended or withheld, the forgiveness granted or denied. From this perspective, every family conflict is an opportunity for your soul to grow in qualities that will benefit you eternally: patience, compassion, humility, forgiveness, unconditional love. When you shift your focus from how can I win this argument to what is my soul being invited to learn through this challenge, the entire experience transforms from burden to blessing. You may not enjoy the difficulty, but you can appreciate its purpose. As we conclude, I call you to make this commitment. For the next 30 days, dedicate yourself to resolving family conflict through spiritual consciousness rather than through ego strategies. Practice the peace and harmony prayer 5 times daily for anyone with whom you have conflict. Establish daily meditation to create the inner foundation of peace. Use the 60 seconds before sleep to forgive and visualize healing. Practice non-reactive awareness in all family interactions. Maintain boundaries where necessary, but do so with compassion rather than anger. And trust that even when you cannot see results, divine healing is working beneath the surface. Comment below, I unite with the divine and my reality transforms, to seal your commitment. Subscribe and activate notifications to continue receiving these sacred teachings. Share this message with anyone suffering from family conflict. And remember, the greatest gift you can give your family is not to force them to change, but to become so filled with peace yourself that your very presence heals. May your family conflicts become opportunities for profound spiritual growth. May you discover that the ones who challenge you most are often your greatest teachers. May your home be transformed from a battlefield into a sanctuary where souls help each other remember their divine origin.